Country Focus on BBC Radio Wales. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Hello and welcome to Country Focus. I'm Pauline Smith. Spreading out through the heart of Wales, the Cambrian mountains contain some of our darkest skies. It's a perfect location for stargazers, but also for remote rural communities to embrace astrotourism and protect the night sky.
If it stays like this, I will be more than happy because we'll have a nice panorama. The sky will sparkle. The only thing that's letting it down a little bit at the moment is the stronger wind that we have, which is obviously making you feel a little bit chilly.
It's early evening here at Rue de Véty Farm. No stars up yet, but it's getting darker. We're near the village of Staylittle in the historic county of Montgomeryshire, roughly halfway between Cambrian to the north and Llanidloes to the south. And guests are gathering for a weekend of astronomy.
This is actually quite mild for me. As a seasoned astronomer, but the colder the night, the clearer the sky.
The event is run by Alan Trow from Dark Sky Wales. Alan, how does the weekend work?
Well, the weekend works when the weather works, really. But in general, we'll get 1 or 2 nights which are clear, and we'll spend up to 6 to 7 hours outside with our guests looking up at the night sky. But they're not all going to be frozen solid because the pods are quite near to us, so it allows them a little bit of a comfort break and a warm so they can come back and forth. But we also run the sessions in inclement weather as well, so if we do get some rain or some cloud, then we've got a village hall in Staylittle that we can use for astronomical talks, and we'll show our guests the wonders that the Cambrian mountains and the dark skies here have to offer.
Well, it's the November evening when we're standing here. What can we expect to see?
Now we're moving into the winter skies. We'll hopefully get to see the wonderful constellation of Orion later on. We'll definitely be looking at the Andromeda Galaxy through the telescopes and getting our guests to take pictures of it. But there's just a myriad of things to look at. We've still got the remnants, actually, of the Milky Way from the summer. It's kind of set in as it's getting dark. Bit of luck, we might even catch some northern lights. They've been quite active over the last month or so. Last week we had quite a spectacular show. I was stuck in South Wales under the rain.
Oh, I'd love to see the northern lights. That would just make my evening. But yeah, how likely do you think?
They're unpredictable. We've got apps on our phones which will allow us a little bit of warning, and if we do get to see the aurora, it'll be pretty good from here because we are quite high up in the Cambrians here. We've got a good northerly view. No light pollution to speak of, so they'll be spectacular. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing really as the night progresses.
So you're expecting how many guests this evening?
Well, we have 6 glamping pods that we have fully booked out. So if everybody turns up, we could have up to 24 people here. But this is a small group for us because we run multiple events across the country, group stargazing, which can have up to 40 people attending per session, all the way down to couples only. And they are quite romantic because we get a lot of people proposing on those evenings. So we have a variety of different things that we can offer.
Get caught away with the stars, do they?
Well, one of the great things about the night sky is always little patterns of stars. And some of these patterns get common names attached to them. And when you think of Polaris or the North Star, then actually you've got the diamond ring asterism, which is around it, with Polaris being the diamond in the ring itself. So generally when we do these proposals, we get fair warning from the man or the woman who's doing the proposing, and we try to get the diamond ring in place ready for that proposal.
Well, Alan, you run these events throughout the year and not just here.
Yeah, we run the Elan Valley, again, part of the Cambrian Mountains and an international dark sky park, that one. We're also doing the Brecon Beacons, and we actually run some stuff down in West Wales as well.
But you're from the Rhondda, is that right?
I am indeed, yes. Born and bred in the Rhondda, and I've moved all of half a mile in my lifetime.
And this is your main business. What got you into it?
I've always been interested in astronomy, but it was really my grandfather that captured my imagination with the night skies. He was racing pigeons, of all things. He was an ex-miner, and all miners at that time were racing pigeons. And his weren't particularly good. So we'd be spending many a night or early evening going into the night waiting for these things to come back. And the only part of the sky he knew was where the north was. So he knew a few constellations in the north, and that just piqued my interest. that my life took a little bit of a twist, really, as far as astronomy was concerned, because I was brought up mainly at teenage years during the miner strikes. There wasn't really that push to go anywhere else rather than heavy industry at the time. So I ended up as an apprentice in the Royal Mint and done my engineering there for 10 years before I actually went back to university and studied astronomy. So I was a mature student as well, and it's led me to where I am now.
So you run this company yourself. Is it just you?
It is indeed, yes. We have some people working for us. We also run sessions in schools as well during the day, because believe it or not, in that van there only is a plethora of telescopes, but we have a mobile planetarium, and that planetarium can seat up to 40 people, and we take it here, there and everywhere.
I like the idea that you've got the whole night sky in your van.
The whole universe is in the back of my van, yes. And we're speaking to David later on. David and myself have worked together over the last few years, and we've brought the planetarium to loads of communities in the Cambrian mountains as well. When I started the company 12 years ago, we would have a couple of hundred people a year coming along. Now we're bringing around about 15,000 people a year to rural communities to enjoy the night sky. Obviously, there is a lot of TV programs that have shown an interest in astronomy. Social media has played a big role, particularly during the lockdown period. When we will look back to beginning of 2020, we had around about 15,000 followers on Facebook. By the end of the summer in 2020, that was up to 50,000, purely because we were still posting stuff about the night skies, and then the whole thing has exploded ever since. I think it's just getting away from the built-up areas and into an area where you can actually see more than 200 or 300 stars.
So you're going to be getting the telescopes out shortly?
Yes, as soon as it starts to get a little bit darker now, and if the weather remains as it is, we'll get the telescopes out, and then as soon as the guests arrive, we'll get them looking through the telescopes and also looking at the constellations with a laser pointer, so we'll guide them around those to begin with. Have a look at it as well.
Well, the night is slowly drawing in, and Alan is busy unpacking the universe from the back of his van and setting up. And we do have a planet rising up.
That's Jupiter, that is. It's quite bright. It's a massive planet. It's my favourite planet. It's like a star in appearance, but just popped up over the horizon there.
Well, David Wyn Morgan is from the Cambrian Mountains Initiative. David, before we continue to discuss what's above us, let's talk about the Cambrian Mountains. It's a vast area through the heart of Wales and spreads over 3 counties.
Yes, the counties of Ceredigion, Powys and Sir Gar, Carmarthenshire. It includes 54 town and community councils as well, so it's a vast area in this central section of Wales.
And we're in the very north tip.
Yeah, we can't go further north in the Cambrian Mountains, more or less, than the Stay Little, Deliver, Llanbryn Mair, Llangadfan part.
And we're quite high up, aren't we?
Oh yes, we're several thousand feet up here now. We're not far from the iconic mountain of Foel Fadian, which looks over Glaslyn Nature Reserve. We've got the old mining village of Deliver nearby as well. We've got the Glyndwr Way. But if you go back to Foel Fadian, for example, you can see the full Cambrian Mountains range heading south, including the peak of Pumlimon Fawr at 2,468 feet, the highest peak.
Now, the thing about it is this is pretty light pollution free.
Yes, I think it's one of the USPs of the Cambrian Mountains. It's been around for many, many thousands of years, but something which is now being appreciated by local communities, by local businesses and visitors to the area. In 2019, we worked with Dark Sky Wales, with Alan, and we established the Cambrian Mountains Astro Trail, a trail of 9 communities with very, very low light pollution because of their remoteness from the towns and cities of Wales.
And how does the trail work? I mean, you can't do it all in one evening, presumably.
Well, I have challenged somebody to cycle it all in one evening. That challenge is still out there. But yeah, you can start in the south, in the Brechfa Forest and Llanllwni mountain area. Then you can head north towards Cambrian Dam, which is another dark sky discovery site. Then pop into Ceredigion to Coed y Bont, Llanecheuron National Trust site there, before heading up to Bwa, the Arch site next to the world famous Hafod estate, before then going back into Powys, into the International Dark Sky Park of the Elan Valley, which is in itself world famous because of its low light pollution. The park received its status in 2015. A lot of work has been done at local level there to maintain the status of the park and ensure that light pollution is at its minimum in the landscape surrounding all those dams in the Elan Valley. And then you can come up here then to the Star in Dark Sky Discovery Site near where we are here at Wigwam Hafren. The Star Inn, aptly named of course, is a former 16th century pub. I believe today it provides accommodation but no longer the pub facility that community like this once appreciated.
And we talk a lot about regenerative agriculture on Country Focus. This is kind of regenerative tourism, the Astro Trail.
Yeah, definitely. It's community based, so it's bottom up. When we put in the application for the Dark Sky Discovery Sites in 2019, we liaised, we discussed, we had open days and drop-in sessions to try and identify which communities really would welcome having a Dark Sky Discovery Site near them, given the impact on the one hand of people visiting at night to these sites. They had to be accessible to all. They had to be flat on a good ground surface as well, and in public places that were available 24/7, because we encourage people to adopt the Adventure Smart policy when they go out at night to stargaze, that they do visit during the day. One, to ensure that there are no obstacles or dangers where they will be going, but also as a courtesy call possibly to the local residents who might get a little bit nervous at night seeing red lights dotted in a car park and not really knowing what's going on.
And you're working with businesses, you're working with communities, you're working with the farm here, for example.
Yeah, the community aspect of our work is so important. We are working with local producers, for example. So many local producers have taken the theme of dark skies on and produced brand new produce on the strength of this theme. So we've got Hathrem brownies, who have created a galaxy stargazing box of brownies, which we'll sample later on, by the way. We've got Davile Distillery, who've created a dark skies rum. We'll sample some of that as well.
I'm going to need it in this weather.
But all these local initiatives are positive for the economy, for employment and so on, and a sense of place as well. I think it's so important for the visitor that they can take something home as a bit of a memory of their visit to the Cambrian Mountains.
I gather it's astronomy meets gastronomy.
Now there's an idea. Yes, most definitely, because during the night you need something to eat, you need something to drink. We've actually got Tavy Coffee, who've produced a very strong dark skies coffee that can keep you up all night, honestly.
Well, so as we've been talking, Davith, the stars are... Yeah, lots been happening.
Yeah, definitely not an astronomer. I'm more of a night photographer and a bit of a stargazer. But I've just done it now. I'm often grabbing my phone and sticking on one of my favourite apps.
It does bring it to life, doesn't it?
Isn't it? You've got Saturn over there now, see? And you've got Pleiades going to be popping up near to Jupiter in a few minutes. And now, see, just coming up between the summer triangle there, you've got our very own galaxy, the Milky Way. Can you see it there on the screen? It's like a fluffy cloud coming out from...
It's like an angel.
It looks like... It is a night tonight for angels, for them to be on our side at least.
Now, you say you don't know much about the night sky, but I've seen your photos, Davith. They're amazing. You're an astrophotographer.
Well, yes. I think I'm more of a night photographer, combining the night sky with the night landscape. I love going to these places at night. I get that buzz. I like recording the beauty of the night. You know, you have daytime landscape photographers, but for me, I think you can see far more during the night. Just look at it. Look at that. It's just as if somebody's switching a switch on, one at a time. Click, click, click.
Oh, yeah, take a seat. Well, I've stepped in out of the cold for a moment to find out a little bit more about the wigwams, or these pods that are here. And Nia Medins is the farmer here and runs Wigwam Hafren. Nia, this is a lovely, cosy little pod, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Like a night like tonight, it's quite cold out there. We've got six of these pods that sleep 4 people, and then we have a large pod as well that is an accessible one. We put these in about 5 years ago now, and my husband and myself, we farm an upland farm. And we really felt that we needed another income stream for the farm. But in diversifying, you've got to also really look at what suits your area, suits your farm. We're very fortunate where we live, very rural area, beautiful landscape, beautiful wildlife. We've got the Glyndŵr National Trail that goes through the farm. So we tend to have a lot of walkers and cyclists. But the both of us felt that we didn't want static caravans. We really wanted something that went with our landscape.
They blend into the landscape because they're lovely wooden huts, aren't they?
Yes, yes.
Each cabin near has a name. Which one are we in?
Yes, you're in Sweet Lamb. Havren is well known for its rallying, and there is a massive rally complex not too far from here which is called Sweet Lamb. One is Glaslyn, which is the lake on the top here. The second is Clywedog. The other one is Hyddgen, where Glyndŵr made his debut with England. And you got Pumlimon then, and then Pennant, which is the name of my husband's home farm. So it just gives a little bit of a story to it all. And added to that, we also sell our own lamb burgers to the customers. 80% of our lamb is sold to Waitrose, so which ensures that it's of the highest quality and the welfare, etc. So we tell the customers, the story about the lamb, and it's nearly an educational trip, especially for people that are coming from London. They just cannot believe the difference from the city to the rural areas.
And there's pretty much everything you need here. You've got a little kitchen there, bathroom, ensuite. It's nice for a family or for a couple or whatever, really, isn't it?
Yes, yes. As farmers, you try and think, how can we do something cheaper? But the one thing I told my husband, if we're putting these in, we must have a toilet and a shower in them.
OK, and Alan and his Dark Sky Wales weekends, they book once a month. Presumably that helps you extend the season.
Definitely. Alan and us, we partnered back now, I think it's nearly 4 years now, and it's been an excellent partnership. Definitely helps us in terms of out-of-season work. And, that the stars here, when it is a good night, they are absolutely fantastic. But if the weather isn't good, then the customers have got the pod to go back into, their television, their warmth. But the Dark Skies, I think, is an underrated attraction, really, in Wales. We're not selling it enough.
And you're also in a spot which probably doesn't attract that many tourists anyway, really.
It's a fortunate thing in some form.
That balance, though, isn't it? It's that hidden secret, but...
It is. We've had numerous families from Cornwall this year, actually, staying with us, more than usually. And they've been staying here for a week or 2 weeks, which is quite unusual. My sort of customers usually stay 3 or 4 nights. And the families from Cornwall just said, we just wanted to get out of there. Cornwall is so congested, and I think that balance is so important. We've all got to live here. Yes, it's a place to play and a place to enjoy and relax and get away from it all, but you also have to have an income and live, and getting that balance is very difficult, and I don't think there is a right or wrong answer.
What are we looking at, Alan?
We're actually looking at the planet Jupiter.
Oh, and I can see its moons as well.
You can, and you see the bands on the planet's surface.
Yes, 2 little bands across the middle.
That's it, they call the equatorial bands. But we've also got Saturn, which is just behind us at the moment, so we'll have a look at Saturn as well now. But if you just turn around, you can actually see the saucepan.
Well, you've got a laser beam to point out everything.
There's the bowl of the saucepan, and that's its handle. It's only really in South Wales that we call it the saucepan. Most people know it as the plough. But if you follow the end 2 stars, just go up, and that is the North Star, Polaris. Nice and faint, isn't it? It's not exactly an icon to look at. It's actually a very dim star, so when people go looking for the North Star, they get confused because a lot of people look for the brightest star. Well, if you're looking at stars, the brightest thing in the sky at the moment is Jupiter. And the way you tell a difference between a planet and a star, the light coming from the planet is actually quite steady, whereas stars twinkle.
Oh, wow, look at that. That looks almost like a picture.
But if you look to the
That's
side
great.
of it, you see a little dot.
Yeah.
That's Titan. That's its largest moon.
Largest moon, yeah. Brilliant. Oh, wow, babe, that's really, really good, that one.
Absolutely incredible.
It's lovely, isn't it?
That is absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want to look lovely? There we go, right. There's my apprentice having a go now. Right, so you're going to need the step.
What a lovely sight.
Alan, the image of Saturn there is really, really clear. I mean, it's absolutely picture perfect. Is that because of your equipment? Is it because it's a clear night?
It's a combination of everything, really. You get good views of Saturn with smaller telescopes, but the larger the telescope you get, so the larger the aperture of the lens or the mirror, the more detail you get to see on the planet. So give it another hour, we'll be able to have a look at the Andromeda Galaxy, and that will be breathtakingly beautiful from a place like this, and we'll actually take a picture of that one if we get the opportunity.
If you can play with the camera will play for you. So there's my camera now.
There's a beautiful shot of the pod with the Milky Way.
Yes. See, I won't be surprised if we might get a bit of aurora tonight. Wouldn't be brilliant, because it's dark enough for us to be able to see it, because we are so far from any town of any significance. I'm going to check my app just in case. Now look at that. That's the colour we want. It's promising a bit of red alert at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, so we're going to have to come back here tomorrow night, I think. To see the Aurora Borealis above these pods would just be something special.
Isn't it going to be cloudy tomorrow night there?
Well, we've got a button over there in the shed that'll be pressed for the clouds, and they just move away like curtains. But look at the Milky Way, look how clear that is. Unless you know it's there, you don't really know what's there, if you know what I mean.
Perfect sense.
Everything's just slowly opening up, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're
it
just
is.
seeing
It
more
is.
and more stars in the sky.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Never! Leonid! Did you see it?
I didn't.
Oh, gosh! No, this woman's talking to me. Distraction. Who invited this one along? I'd have been shooting there otherwise. Pleiades over there now. Like a little smudge over there. Can you see it?
I can.
Just to the left of Jupiter.
This dark sky status that the Cambrian Mountains has, or, well, there's the park, isn't there, in the Ellen Valley?
Yeah, the park. All 9 dark sky discovery sites, and they're all Milky Way level dark sky sites, because you can see the Milky Way at night. There's a scale of light pollution, of darkness. For the sites to be officially designated, they have to be accessible to all public places and safe places as well for people to visit.
And to maintain that, presumably it's about how much light pollution we produce.
Yes, it is, yeah. I'm a great believer that light pollution is one pollution the world could do without, but it's all about sensible use of lighting at night to try and ensure that, yes, use it sensibly, point it down, have the right warmth of bulb, not to have it on too long, because not only do humans need to have the experience of darkness for their own well-being, but nature as well, such as bats, moths and owls and so on.
Well, I didn't see that Leonid. What is a Leonid?
A Leonid is one of the many meteor showers we can rely upon during the year. In December now we'll have the Geminids. In August we've got the Perseids. Earlier in the year then we've got the Eta Aquarids. So all these meteor showers are debris of comets. It's well worth going out during these times of the year. For example, the August one now, it's a good evening to be out. It's warmer in August.
The light is getting reflected in there.
Hello. Can I ask what brings you along here this evening? Well, for the weekend.
We're staying the whole weekend. My husband is a huge Sky fan, and our daughter actually got us tickets. We're actually from Wiltshire, and we can see the sky from where we are, but nothing like this. This is just incredible, and it's a real joy to see.
And have it pointed out to you, really.
Absolutely. Alan
just sort of brings
fountain
it to life.
of knowledge, absolutely. He explains everything. Really
Despite the weather.
Despite the weather, no, we're hardy.
And if you follow those 3 stars and we can big S shape in the sky, that is called Draco. Or the dragon.
We're from Ashford in Kent. There's myself, my husband and my 2 children. They're 9 and 7.
Yeah, what are you hoping to see?
I'm hoping to see some of the Milky Way, because I've never seen that before.
Do you see many stars in Kent?
Sometimes we see some from our windows and stuff, and we've got a telescope.
We're quite lucky near us, it's quite dark. So we get a good view, not as amazing as this, obviously.
Okay, well, I hope you have a good weekend stargazing.
Thank you.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Two
I
bears.
was going to say.
Actually, quickly, if we look up just in case it disappears, there's the Milky Way. Yeah. Going all the way across down there.
Well, Dafydd Wyn Morgan, I don't think I'm going to rise to the challenge of seeing all 9 sites on the Cambrian Mountains Astro Trail. But it wouldn't be a trail if we didn't visit at least one more. Unfortunately, the clouds have got in our way. We were on our way to the arch at the Havard Estate in Ceredigion, but it's raining and there's not a star out at all to be seen. So we've dropped into the Havard Hotel in Devil's Bridge.
It's a great place to stop off. They are pretty switched on with dark skies. They are aware of the Havard Arch Dark Sky Discovery site. And I'm sure they encourage their guests to visit the dark sky site on clear nights.
Well, you mentioned dark sky products earlier. I don't see any rum, but I can see some brownies.
Look at these. We've got Hathrim brownies. It's going to take us all night, I think, to eat these. Maybe we can get another chance to see the stars and the night sky above the Cambrian Mountains tonight.
Well, it is clouded over and it's raining now. I guess that's the unfortunate thing with stargazing.
Yeah, we were up in the northern part of the Cambrian Mountains just about half an hour ago. It was clear, we could see the stars, we could see the Milky Way, the planets. We even saw one of the Leonid meteors as well. Well, I saw it. Not.
I was facing the wrong way.
But it's a USP for the Cambrian Mountains. It's something that local communities can be proud of because they are using as little light as possible, which means we can see so much here in the night sky. And I suppose for the businesses, it's a USP as well that they should be promoting themselves as accommodation providers in one of the darkest places in the world.
And the clouds also mean no aurora, but it is the season to be seeing it.
Oh, it definitely is, and we are coming up to a 11-year peak for the Aurora Borealis. And here in the Cambrian Mountains, on a clear night, we can encourage people to get outside, possibly see the Aurora Borealis with their own eyes, but more so, maybe they can take a photograph of themselves under the Cambrian Mountains dark skies with the Aurora Borealis, and how wonderful a memento that would be for them and for their visit to this part of Wales.
Well, that brings us to the end of my Cambrian Mountains Astro Trail, but plenty more places to visit. Diolch yn fawr, Dafydd Wyn Morgan, for showing me some spectacular sights earlier. But from me, Pauline Smith and the Country Focus team, thank you for listening and happy stargazing.